Salah much narrower. Look at his position. He's not stood here. He just starts levitating for a second there. Florian Wirtz. It's not side, 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 side. It's vertical football. Right, hello everybody, welcome back to the Golden Sky. I'm Tom, and today it is the tactical analysis for Liverpool's 4-0 demolition of Galatasaray that happened last night. We are going to look at the tactics from that game, most importantly with a focus on the formation as the diamond that we all want to see returned for this game in pretty amazing fashion. Let's get into it and look at what happened in the game. Okay, so as always, we're going to go through clips of the game in this one, and we're going to start with Liverpool with the ball at the back with Alisson. And what I want to look at in this video, that's going to be the theme, basically, of today's video, is obviously the formation, a diamond, like I said, but what that gives you. What does playing a diamond give you that playing something else with this personnel that we have in the team not give you? And why is it so important to not just me, but many other Liverpool fans that we play this formation given the players and the personnel that we have available to us? Well, a few things, and you'll see this as the video goes on, but the number one thing for me is that the fullbacks hold the width. That's important because that gives a knock-on effect to the likes of Mo Salah, who can become narrower, and he was much better in this game as a result, much more dangerous, plays more to his strengths nowadays. And also, you get more bodies in midfield when you have the ball, and the profile of our midfielders, McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai and Wirtz. Aside from Wirtz, none of those are really creative passes, really. And certainly, even including Wirtz, none of them really, what I would say, long passes. Maybe Szoboszlai's got a nice long switch in his game, but not really players who are going to dictate tempo so much, apart from maybe Wirtz a little bit. When they're closer together, they can all play nice, short, interchangeable passes. They can interchange position. And when they're in that diamond formation in the middle and they can all get close to one another, the football is a lot better. It's also better for our pressing at the minute with the players that we have. I think we press much better, and we still sit in the 4-4-2 like we would do when we defended when we played a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3 or some variation of a 4-2-3-1 earlier this season. We always tend to defend in a 4-4-2. That is Slot's preferred way of defending. That said, let's look at the first clip. So they're the things to focus on as I go through this video. And what does that help us also do from build-up? Well, as you know, our build-up has been shocking this season. So bad. I've said it on every video that I've basically watched Liverpool. In this game, much better. Not that Galatasaray really gave us too many problems, to be honest. They were bad, and we have to take that into account. But here, Alisson has the ball. You see, he's going to fire this one to Konate. The tempo was much better in this game as well, so he's able to get this one to Konate. McAllister is also an option shown for the ball as the deepest midfielder here. It's usually Gravenberch in this game who's the deepest. McAllister here dropping in, and this is a run I like to see. This ball becoming an option is something that we don't see all that often. When we play the 4-2-3-1, Gravenberch and McAllister tend to stand like here and hide behind these players. Then you'd have Konate will be here, and your fullback would almost be here. That's what we've seen a lot. Your winger would obviously be then up the line, this direction, and that's how we've played. Let's move it on. So the ball goes to Konate. You see Galatasaray quite aggressive early on. Everybody's pressing, everybody's high at the pitch. But Frimpong is holding that width on the right-hand side, and this is something that he is excellent at. Kirkas on the other side, obviously both flying fullbacks. Frimpong played at the wing position for us a lot this season. Much higher up the pitch than what we've seen in build-up. Like I said, we've seen us line up from goal kicks. Maybe this isn't a goal kick, but in sort of this position with the fullback so far deep and then the centre-back right alongside him, in a sort of in a horizontal line. Konate gets this ball with his back to play, really, but he's still able to find this pass to Frimpong high and wide on the wing. He does that, and all of a sudden we're away. Frimpong hugging that touchline can get us yards up the pitch, and we can break through the lines of Galatasaray's press. The midfield is the next line. But you see Liverpool with the forwards that we have now available to us. So Salah and Ekitike were the two strikers in the diamond. Salah much narrower. Look at his position. He's not stood here, waiting to receive the ball from the fullback. He's in that striker position, in between the centre-backs. Wirtz played number 10. He's filling in behind them in sort of the triangle, and Szoboszlai was the right-sided midfielder, and he's even in between the lines as well, taking up a really good position. And it's Szoboszlai that's going to get found by Frimpong, and now Szoboszlai's got this ball. As a result of being nice and narrow, Frimpong still holding the width, stretches Galatasaray's defence out towards him. The midfield stretched out towards him as well, opens up this space in the middle where we have lots of bodies because of the diamond. And not only that, but we also have runners now off the ball. We don't have just Ekatike up front on his own, trying to do so much. We've got loads of players, Wirtz, Salah and Ekatike, all making forward runs into the gaps of the defence. And for all Salah's deficiencies this season, the last thing that leaves you is your mental side of the game. And Mo Salah's is still top class. And in this game, he was actually just pretty good as well. Goal and assist. Comes away with obviously the missed penalty too. So makes a great run here. He actually had, I think, he missed 5 big chances, I think, in this game. So he had at least 5 big chances. It's really crazy how much better he was in this narrow position. Szoboszlai can find him in here, and he gets onto the ball. And to be honest, we should do better when we get to this position. Salah should be able to drop this ball off into Wirtz's path, maybe now that he's made this run. Maybe then Wirtz can pass it on to Ekatike. There's loads of options, but Salah does just get muscled off the ball, which is, a bit of a sign of his downfall this season as well. So let's move on. Now, just in settled possession, I wanted to leave this in. This is all about tempo. This is all about the intensity of the game, which was completely different to what we've seen from Liverpool over recent weeks. That was a quality that was evident in Arne Slot himself as well. In this game, he was going mental on the sidelines. Never seen him be like that before, really, and it was good to see, and it reflected in our play. Trying to build up here, you see Salah and Ekatike narrow, either side of the penalty spot again. Kerkez holding the width on the left-hand side, Frimpong holding it on the right-hand side. And the midfielders, aside from Wirtz, who's in that forward line, very close to one another. Being able to dictate play, link up together, that kind of thing. So, Szoboszlai's going to move this ball to Van Dijk, and we're going to see the ball come out wide. And usually this would be to Cody Gakpo or someone like that out here. Kerkez maybe would be a bit deeper. Kerkez is already on his bike. Van Dijk could maybe find him if need be, but he goes to Florian Wirtz. Now the ball ends up with Wirtz. Galatasaray get away with it. They sort of make a tackle, but this is what I've left this in for. So this is the reaction of Liverpool. This is the difference. This is what we've all wanted to see. This is almost a Jurgen Klopp level reaction of losing the ball. Lots of players around the ball in the middle. Lots and lots of Liverpool players forcing Galatasaray back. We weren't really scared of their threat in this game, and we were brave, and that was great to see. Wirtz presses Torreira, and then the ball breaks out. Kerkez has a chance to make a tackle, and he's going to commit fully to every single tackle there's ever been on this planet. Full commitment, strong in the challenge, winning duels. Ekatike's there as well, pressing. Then the ball breaks out again. Kerkez, second tackle. You look at the wind-up, full commitment, full pelt into the challenges. You love to see this. The crowd was up. Everybody was loving it. This is a couple minutes into the game. The intensity is set right from the start, and that's why we were able to really dominate proceedings and really play with some confidence in the end once we got a few goals. We weren't done there, though. The ball breaks again. Still Galatasaray have the ball, but now we've got Wirtz, Ekatike, Kerkez, all pressing, harassing, hassling, not giving Galatasaray a second on the ball, and they couldn't handle it, to be honest. Not just that. Imagine if they did break out of this. Let's say Salah is able to dribble out of this area. McAllister's there, Szoboszlai's there, Gravenberch is around the area. We've got lots and lots of players in a position to be able to press. Let's move on. The ball breaks out. We did eventually win it. Ekatike gets it, and he hits a shot from distance, which ultimately goes wide. But he can actually, play Frimpong in here again, who's holding the width. He could do that. There's lots of options. He could recycle. He could have a shot. I don't mind him having a shot from here, but I'm just pointing out the quantifiable difference in how Liverpool pressed in this game versus the Spurs game versus the Forest game. I know we won that one, but still, it's night and day, and I don't really know why. It might just be the Champions League of it all, but who knows? Could be the formation as well, and this certainly is the formation, this sort of setup and press here, because Mo Salah is pressing here much better, and look at the intent as well. Sprinting down the goalkeeper, and so is Ekatike, not sprinting but pressing in a much more structured manner. We've seen us press so poorly this season. We're in the 4-4-2 right now, which you can't see all the way off, but you can see the two strikers. Salah's curved his run nicely, so it makes this pass quite a difficult one to play, because there is a chance Salah could nip in and win it like he did against Emi Martinez. Ekatike's doing a better job of cutting off this pass. He doesn't always do that well. He doesn't always curve his runs and cut off passing lanes. So the goalkeeper has to kick it long. Now, he gets a bit lucky. He sort of mishits his kick and it falls straight to this fella for Galatasaray in the middle. But you'll see now Liverpool's reaction again. And I wanted to leave this in because it's really important. This is why we were able to dominate the game, really get our grasp on it. And it's from Florian Wirtz in this instance. He's defending his left midfielder as part of a 4-4-2. And earlier in the season, I will say, I was worried about playing a diamond and defending in a 4-4-2 because of Wirtz playing a left midfielder. Didn't know if he had that in his locker. He absolutely does. And it's not just this game that we've seen it, it's other games. He has the engine. His defensive contributions are fantastic, to be honest. He's actually the best of all of our attackers, really, in terms of the numbers of presses per defensive action, that kind of thing, the really nerdy, proper numbers that people might like who watch these videos. But here, he presses once, he goes to Sacha Bowie, he's pressing again, and I want to just scroll this one down. You can see on a slot here, I love the body language. I have to say, he's encouraging, he's really wanting his team to get in and press and be aggressive and not let them have time on the ball. We haven't seen this all season long. Defense is nice and high as well. You see Van Dijk just below my screen there. Nice and high. Not giving Galatasaray space to play around. The ball goes back. Now, Wirtz presses again. Ekitike's pressing. Salah's in a good spot, so this pass can't happen. We're cutting off a lot of options for them here. The ball's going to go into the middle, but McAllister's ready to jump, so Torreira's not going to have much time. And once Torreira does get it, I'll scroll it down again. Torreira plays this ball. It's back to Bowie, and Kirkaz is right on his heels, snapping away. This ball is eventually going to go out of play, and we're going to get a throw-in. That is the level of intensity that I expect every week from Liverpool. That's level of intensity I expect against Brighton on the weekend. I very much doubt we'll see it, but at least we saw it in this game. It was very good to see. We'll move on now. Liverpool attacking in the first half. Konate on the ball, and this is, again, the diamond just working brilliantly. Nothing really fancy here comes at all, but Wirtz, Szoboszlai being able to pick up positions in between the midfield and the defence. Almost like two number 10s in this scenario, with the diamond a little bit more of a 4-2-2-2 here. You can call it that if you'd like. It is in my mind always a diamond. Szoboszlai right side, Gravenberch sometimes defensive or sometimes left, McAllister the same, and then Wirtz 10. Frimpong holding the width, so stretching Galatasaray's midfield 4, really not being able to get compact because they've got this marauding fullback that's coming up. Konate is able to find a nice pass between the lines to Wirtz, and he's always aware of what's going on. Draws the centre-back out of his position, finds the first-time ball to his mate there, Dominic Szoboszlai. Now he can get on the ball. Galatasaray all of a sudden really stretched. The fullbacks had to come out. The centre-back and the right-back are basically 2-on-2 with Salah and Ekitike. Frimpong is still there. He's now able to get free down this right-hand side, and Szoboszlai pokes the ball through the gap of all these defenders into Mo Salah. Mo Salah gets on the ball. Now, Yilmaz gets back at him, but Frimpong, again, is holding that width. We can link up. Do you see the fluidity of this? Do you see how easy it is for each player to make the decision? Nothing is being complicated here. There is no complex pass or tricky technique. It's just simply pulling players from a team that wants to sit and defend out of their comfort zone, pulling defenders out of the back line, moving behind midfielders, keeping width, running in behind. It's just so refreshing to see. The ball goes to Frimpong. He doesn't rush his pass, he's not really got a cross here. Cuts it back to Wirtz. Nice cutback, and then Wirtz again is able to drive towards the byline, gets right there, dribbles nicely, and stands up across. It goes to Ekitike, and he wasn't quite able to get a header on it at goal. If he was, maybe we score earlier than we did in this game. Nonetheless, a nice move, and lots of nice moves happen in this game. And our football, which has been so dire to watch, it was so refreshing and so pleasing to watch a game where we just played well from start to finish. It really, really was. This is the corner, so I just wanted to put this one in. I might zoom out a little bit if that doesn't really make much difference, but so we'll just go as it is. But the idea is everybody here is blocking. Because Szoboszlai, who you can't actually see, that's why I zoomed out. I thought you might be able to see him. You can't. McAllister's taking the corner. The idea, I'm not going to analyse too much on corners, guys. I'm not a set-piece expert by any means. But the idea is Kirkaz, Gravenberch, Konate, even Salah, they are all blocking. They all know what's coming here, and they are all blocking all these Galatasaray players being able to run out towards the ball. And that's why, on the next photo, when you see Szoboszlai about to take his shot, brilliant strike, by the way, weaker foot, great technique. Maka did mess up the delivery a little bit, finds the corner. That's why you see this fella's on the floor, because he's trying to get a foul from the blocker, and nobody else has been able to get out towards Szoboszlai to let him have this space to freely strike the ball under no challenge and get the shot off without it getting blocked. So, more good play from us in the first half, and this one was a beautiful move, and it simply isn't possible without this formation, without the confidence flowing of the players. Lovely, lovely move, and this actually led to the penalty that we got, that we should have obviously gone 2-0 up with, but a throw in on this far side. Ekitike shown for the throw. Usually we're quite bad at keeping the ball on throw-ins, but Ekitike has options here. Wirtz again ghosts into this middle area. This time, McAllister is the one who sort of ended up number 10 for some reason, but you still see it is a bit of the diamond right, left, deep, and then forward number 10. Ekitike chests this one into McAllister. Lovely play. Wirtz is always aware of what's going on around him. His mate's over on the right-hand side, keeping the width. See, Galatasaray have all shuffled over, as you should do when the ball's on one side of the pitch. They've all shuffled over, leaving Frimpong to get high and wide. He's not stood back here at full-back, just under my head next to Kanate. Instead, he's nice and high and wide, so Wirtz can just get this ball out into the space, which he does. Frimpong's always going to get it. Now, it's a really poor cross from Frimpong. He messes up his cross. Obviously, it goes to Lamina, then it comes over here, and then Szoboszlai gets the ball and gets the penalty. But the reason why I put this in is not because we won the penalty. It's because of how we managed to quickly transition from a throw-in our own half to a dangerous attack and then a penalty. We don't do quick transitions this season. We just simply haven't. So, again, I'm going to say it was so refreshing to see this happen. And just such a joy to watch, like, us actually play free-flowing football for once. And that continued into the second half. This time, you're going to see the benefit of the diamond in how it helps Salah and Ekitike as a strike partnership. And especially Salah, I think. Ekitike has been, he's had a great season, you would say. His first season for Liverpool so far. He's been one of the shining lights of the season. Salah, quite the opposite. You would say it's been his poorest season at Liverpool. I think that's clear for everybody to see as he gets a bit older. But here he's helped out, and he helped out Ekitike as well. So we win the ball back. Again, you see the midfielders very, very close together. You could almost throw a blanket over them. But Kerkez, Frimpong, holding width, pushing onto wingers. So the wingers are either sucked in to defend, or if they're going to try and attack, Frimpong and Kerkez are right there to make aggressive challenges on them if the ball does go out wide. Comes to Ekitike. Galatasaray's defence isn't set. Salah's in a good central area, not stood out here where he's been so ineffective for so long this season. He's central. He's actually playing pretty much as a striker. He makes a great run again. His movement was fantastic in this game. Ekitike releases the ball at the right time, knocks it into his path, and if Salah can just get a little bit more around the ball here and sort of, get it into that far corner with his right foot as the goalkeeper rushes onto him, we might score. Now he doesn't, but again, the warning signs as soon as the second half came out. And look at the position of the players backing up the team. So you've got both fullbacks given the license to roam really high. There's your strikers, your number 10s in there. And then your two offensive midfielders, your left and right hand sided ones. Not too high, but backing up the team. Gravenberch's nowhere to be seen, which is good. You want him helping out the defence if a counter-attack was to be launched. It's just normal. It looks normal. It looks like a formation, and we haven't seen this a lot this season. Again, we see it here. I'm going to say it. Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, McAllister, even Wirtz is not too far away. All very close together, being able to link up. Now, we've got sort of a rest defence of the three, including Kerkez here, Frimpong a little bit higher up. Salah and Ekitike, again, next to each other, really close, forming a partnership in this game. And McAllister's the one who's actually going to burst through the lines here to act as the number 10. Szoboszlai finds him easily. Look at these gaps we're creating behind Galatasaray's midfield. There's a huge gap. Really poor from them, to be honest. McAllister exploits it well, though, and he's able to get on the ball. And this is where Salah, playing as that striker, again, comes into effect. This is the second goal, and we don't score it if Salah is playing as a right winger. It's as simple as that. First of all, he wouldn't be stood here. He'd be stood so much wider. He wouldn't be in between the fullback and the centre-back making this run. We also probably wouldn't have anybody here because this person, who's McAllister, would likely be stood out here on the left wing. So all of this goal doesn't happen, in my opinion, if we're playing the 4-2-3-1 or whatever you want to call it that we play most of the time. Salah gets onto it. Excellent cross, linking up first time. Really good delivery with his right foot. Gets the ball around the defenders, not too close to the goalkeeper. And lets Ekitike have this tap-in, really. He can't miss this one, and he doesn't. Puts us 2-1 ahead in the tie. And then it was just champagne football for the rest of the night. The confidence was sky high. Galatasaray were pretty much done at this point. It was really pathetic effort from them in the end. But let's move on. 2 minutes later, we score a very, very similar goal. We've won the ball in the middle. We're breaking at pace. You see how all of our attacks are at pace? It's not side, 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 side. It's vertical football. The last one, McAllister gets the ball from a vertical pass from Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai, vertical pass to Salah. Across the box for the through ball. Ekitike taps it home. This one, win the ball back. People are running forward. Kerkez already high and wide as we've won the ball. We've won the ball back. Excuse me. Ekitike, Salah, in between fullback and centre-back again. Like I said already, how many times this video, I don't know. Wirtz gets onto it. He's got the eye for the creative ball through the lines. Salah's in the right spot. Verts dinks it over to him. Salah gets onto it, hits the volley. This would have been an amazing goal. But you see how quick these attacks are? Do you see how fluid they are? Do you see how natural they seem? The players just playing with a freedom, not having to think, oh, I've got to pass here and I've got to set tempo doing this way. I've got to go slow. I've got to go back to my goalkeeper, whatever. It's just freedom. And it looked so much better. It was noticeable. If you'd never watched football before, you'd say, wow, that team played well. You'd be able to tell. I'm going to say it again. Frimpong, Kirkes, high and wide, providing the width. Salah hits the shot, and Gravenberch this time is the one crashing the box. McAllister holding everybody as the deepest midfielder. It falls back to Gravenberch, and he's able to hit this one into the floor and then into the net. And that was 3-0, tie done, party time for the mighty Reds. But there was a little bit more still to go, and it was Mo Salah's goal. You see the diamond? Again, you already know what I'm going to say. Close distances. Not. Why is this good? Because they can pop the ball around. No one has to do too much. This is a very simple pass. McAllister to Szoboszlai. Verts is in close vicinity. So these two Galatasaray midfielders. This is actually a defender, I think, who's been pulled out, and a bit of a swap going on with the defence. But either way, the two players in the middle for Galatasaray, they have too many bodies to mark. They can't put 4 bodies in there as well to match up with us. They're struggling. And once Szoboszlai gets this ball, I wanted to leave this in. As the ball's coming towards him, look at Verts. I mean, this is top level stuff, it really is. Already checking what's behind him. He wants to know when this player or this player is going to come and press him, because he knows he's getting this ball. He knows it's being popped from here to here to here. It happens very quick. Szoboszlai doesn't waste any time, keeps the tempo up, finds Verts. Now we've got the space in between the lines, playing that number 10 role. Salah, again, not too far out on the touchline. A little bit wider than what we've maybe seen him in this game, but he's peeled off into the space. He can link up here because he's not too far out wide. He's not stood out here trying to beat a man. He hasn't been able to do that all season. He can't really dribble past a player anymore. But what he can still do is link up with 1-2s with players like Florian Verts, who's close by, plays that ball into him. Verts is going to drop this off. He just starts levitating for a second there. Florian Verts knocks the ball back. Salah gets onto it. And it's a trademark Mo Salah goal. Curls the ball around. We haven't seen him do this in a long time. And I was really pleased for him that he got this after the penalty miss. The assist he got, a great performance from him in the end. I said so on the ratings. 50 goals for him in the Champions League, I believe. What a player, and what a way to end the game with the 4th goal in the 4-0 win. So the last thing I will show you is the stats from the game. It was a domination. It really was. And it's so nice to do a tactics video where I can just show you goals and I can analyze goals rather than meticulously looking at passages of play and things like that. We can look at fluidity and happy things. It's so nice. Look at the XG, almost 5 for us, barely anything for Galatasaray. This truly was a game where they didn't create any chances. If Arne Slot wants to say that, now is the time. 32 shots from us to Galatasaray's 4, 16 to their 1. 9 big chances. That is absolutely huge. I mean, that is so big. If you're creating 9 big chances a game, you're scoring a lot of goals. 8 missed. Less said about that, the better. You know, we want to score more than 1 of our 9 big chances. We don't. We still scored 4 goals. That's what matters. We get the win. And that is going to be the end of the tactics video today. All right then, guys. I really do hope you did enjoy today's video. That is going to be where we end it today. A little shorter than normal, just purely due to time constraints. But I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, please do drop a like on the video. We're trying to get to 35 likes. And we can be happy today watching this one. It's not a tactics video that I have to bash the team. It's a tactics video where I can say, I liked the formation, I liked the setup, and here's why it was good. And I hope you understood every point that I made in today's video. If you did, and you did enjoy the video, please do click subscribe as well. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers on the channel. So if you are new and you haven't clicked subscribe, please do so. Podcast listeners, whatever platform you use, follow the show, share it to all your friends, all that good stuff. I'll be back tomorrow for a preview for Brighton, which is 12:30 on Saturday. So until then, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll speak to you on Friday. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.